Welcome back to Leeds Lately. Today's video is going to be a reaction video to Leeds drawing 1-1 with Liverpool at Elland Road.
Comes for Pablo Hernandez, and Pablo Hernandez scores a goal for Leeds United! Oh!
Now, we're not going to mention the European Super League in this video. It's going to be a follow-up video in a few days' time. But I just want to say one thing. I am totally against it. It's horrendous. And you'll obviously hear a lot more about it in this next video. Let's just talk about the game today. And in a month where we had Manchester City, Liverpool and United consecutively, I wasn't expecting to pick up any points from any of those games, to be honest. And now we've picked up 4 from the first 2. So it can only mean one thing on Saturday. Nothing, because we play on Sunday. That can only mean one thing for the Sunday's game, is that we will lose, because we've won 1, drawn 1, and now it's time to lose 1. No, but in all seriousness, Cooper obviously was suspended from the challenge on Gabriel Jesus in the City game, and so Strout came in. Obviously, Bielsa prefers his left-footed players to play on the left-hand side of a centre-back partnership. He's very vocal in that, and it's something that he believes in very much. So it wasn't going to be Robin Koch coming in for him. Rafinha was out with a thigh knock, and we can only assume that was from the Fernandinho stupid tackle on him, where he just came and wiped him out. And yeah, so he was missing for this game, which meant that Helder Costa came in to start. The first half was a lot of Liverpool possession, and we couldn't really string anything together that was too amazing. Being Leeds, we did manage to create a few chances, namely the one where Bamford took a little bit of a heavy touch and Alisson was able to rush out and save it. But in the main part, Liverpool were on top. They kept possession well, and they kept feeding balls in behind Alioski and Ayling, and I think that was their game plan, to be honest. They were feeding a lot of balls in for Mane, trying to exploit the fact that Alioski's not a natural left back, and really they didn't get. They got joy from it because they got some good chances, but they didn't get that much because they didn't take advantage of those. They didn't really score much. The only time where they did score in that first half was Jota picked it up in midfield. Ayling should have been tighter to him, given that it's a man marking system. Ayling should have gone with him more so that he couldn't have done this, but he takes a touch out of his feet and plays it over the top of. It was Harrison. So Harrison was slotted into left back because of the man marking system. Calvin had gone from his normal holding role, followed Thiago, and he was in the Liverpool half. And then you had your Llorente and Alioski were almost your 2 centre-backs. But it was played over the top of both of them, over the top of Harrison, and Trent got it on the other side and whipped it into the box. Oh, he didn't actually whip it in. Meslier came out to it, and he just passed it across the box for an open net. He squared it. He squared it to Mane, so that was 1-0, and given the way the game had gone at that point, I was thinking that it could get a lot worse for us. But in the second half, we turned it around massively. The first 10 minutes, however, of the first half, it was more of the same from Liverpool, to be honest. They had sustained possession and were creating a few chances. There was nothing amazingly clear-cut in that period, but it was a bit like, oh God, we've not changed anything that can really affect this game. But as the half went on, we were just getting in those spaces between their lines more and able to string a lot more passes together, to be honest. Because what I forgot to mention about the first half was that when we couldn't keep that possession, it was a lot of the time due to giving the ball away, and the people who were guilty of that were Calvin quite a few times that I noticed, Tyler Roberts and Helder Costa. They just seemed to give the ball away a little bit too much, and it was breaking up our rhythm, really. But yeah, like I say, in that second half, we went on to just become more and more into the game. we started to maintain a lot more of the ball. We started to probe a lot more and create a lot more chances, namely the one where Tyler Roberts was on the left-hand side. He did some great footwork, some little jinking in and out, got into the box, squared it to Jack Harrison. Jack Harrison had a little touch and tried to fire it across Alisson. Alisson stuck out a leg and saved it. Alisson, by the way, was very, very good in this game, because otherwise I think we could have won 3-1. Then you had the one where Elland clipped a ball over the top. Bamford took a lovely touchdown and did a volley chip over Alisson, and that hit the bar and came back out again, which was really unlucky. And then you had the one where Roberts was through on goal after being slipped in, and he just blasted it straight at Alisson's torso. Either side of him, I think it would have been a goal. If he'd have been a little more clever about his finish, he could have maybe dinked it into the near corner or put some power on it into the far corner. But what he did was panic, I think, and he just blasted it straight at Alisson. And I do feel sorry for Tyler Roberts, because he did play well today and he probably deserved a goal, but unluckily he didn't really get that. He didn't really get that clean contact on his final strike. His decision making wasn't really up to scratch on that. Pablo Hernandez got a run out, which was nice to see. He came on for Roberts in the 85th minute, and it was the 85th minute. And 1 minute later, we whip in a corner. Oh my God, I went mental. Diego Llorente jumps highest, bang, get that down your gullet, and it's 1-1. And a great point, really. Diego Llorente, he did get a little bit of criticism in that game, but for the first half an hour, he was immense. The last-ditch tackles he was making, the way he was getting back, the general positional play was excellent. From about half an hour to 10 minutes into the second half, he was a little bit shaky, but positionally he got a bit weaker and he was being exploited a little bit more. But as it went further on, he was actually quite influential in our attack. So, as I said a couple of weeks ago, I'm going to start picking like a man of the match, a one to watch sort of thing, really. A one to have watched, because it's in the past. Diego Llorente for me this week, I think he was very good. Like I say, he had a period where he went off the boil a little bit, but then that was when Liverpool were having their most sustained, dominant possession and attacks, and they've got the quality to beat anyone defensively. So, I think Llorente for me today, he played very well, got his goal as his reward as well, and that's his first goal for the club. Also, Digital Wilson, who is the admin for Leeds official Twitter, has been great tonight. Tweeting saying we've drawn 1-1 with European Super League side Merseyside Reds, and just bantering them off, really, because I'm not going to get into it, but it's embarrassing, this league. It's not competitive. And I'm glad, really, Orta's stood there with his shirt saying earn it, and all the players doing it at the warm-up. I don't know why Liverpool refused the shirts when they came out in their interviews and were against it anyway. They should have come out in the shirts. I'm going to get into the other video. I can't do this. Right. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you after the Scum game, where hopefully we've won.